in this video you want to determine the inverse of a function, so make sure that you understand this thing perfectly using this simple scenario, right? So this is the function that we are having. Let's say you have a function g of s that is equal to 3s minus of 1 everything divided by what? 5 4, right? So sorry, everything divided by what? By 4. Now, the concept here is that they say you should find the inverse of this function. So we are going to find the inverse of what does it mean? So assuming that you are conveying a bus at the bus stop, right? So the bus always has a chief driver here. So, okay, so let's call this guy here G of S. Everything here, everything here, the chief driver. So this chief driver is going to take us to what? Our destination. So this is the formula that chief driver want to apply because he or she knows the road, right? So he knows that if he drive at certain speed, he can easily get to the destination, right? Or maybe he has to slow down at a certain point before he get there. So this is the lay down procedure that he or she want to use to drive that bus to our various destination. Now the X here, I'm calling this X the passenger. So these are the passengers. So each passenger that drops into that car or that vehicle, then this is the formula that we are going to determine what the strength of that passenger. Is that okay? Now, the inverse here means that what happens if this driver couldn't take us to what our destination. Is that okay? So it will be the other way around. So this is what the driver is taking us to, right? So the driver is taking us to our destination here. So in case of what? Any other issue, maybe it can be that maybe he is not feeling well, maybe anything can happen on the way, right? So maybe he got tired or other stuff. So we don't have a spare driver here, but all that we are going to do here is that you have to make sure that that same driver to convey us to what? Back to our various home. So let's say this is the scenario. So your home is here, and then this can be a college, right? So this can be a college, right? This can be a college. So the driver is conveying you from your various home to what? To the college. So okay, at the end of the day, he or she has to bring you back to your house. So in case of other thing, maybe he couldn't or she couldn't what? Take you back to your various home, then you need someone out of that car or that vehicle to drive that vehicle to your home. Is that okay? That is what we are calling what? The inverse function. So we need someone from what? That car. So a passenger or maybe a student from that vehicle has to take us to our various destinations. So that is what we are calling what? The inverse function. Now, how do you do that? Since this guy was what? The head, or he or she was the driver at the beginning, then you have to get someone to be the head when we are returning home. Is that okay? Since he cannot take us back again, right? So you have to make this guy come and stand here because this guy is going to be what? The head here. Right? So how do you do that mathematically? So that is the very simple concept of inverse of a function. So you have to obey. Now let's see how to do this in mathematical. So if you're new here, you may consider subscribing to the channel for more concepts like this. Give us a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any issue relating to this concept. Now, the first step here is that because this is two people, what I mean by two people here, G and S, so you can say that we are letting let this G of S be equal to Y. Is that okay? We are just replacing this G of S by Y. So what it means we are going to have Y. Whatever you see the G of S, so you put Y there. So Y that is equal to 3S and then minus on everything divided by 4. Is that okay? So that is the function that we are having. What are we looking for? We want this guy to be the head, right? So we want this guy. So you have to come with your formula or your lay down procedure that you want to use to drive the vehicle to the house, right? Okay, so mathematically you have to make sure that this guy stands low. So all that you are going to do here is that you multiply both sides of the equation by what? By 4, because this is being divided by 4, right? So multiply here by 4 and then you multiply here by 4. So here you are going to have what? 4y here. 4y that is equal to 3s and then minus 1 because these two 4 will cancel out. Is that okay? So remember where we are getting towards. We want this guy to come up with he or she formula that can take us to our various destination. Okay, now from here let's pick it from here. So this is what we are having. So we are having what? 4y that is equal to 3s and then minus 1, right? So here you are going to add 1 to the both side of the equation so that this guy will vanish. Okay, so here you are having 4y and then plus 1 that is equal to 3s minus 1 and then plus 1. So this one cancel out. So we are going to have 4y and then plus 1 that is equal to 3s, right? Are you there? Okay, perfect. Now, what are we going to do next? So the only thing you can do next here is that we want this three to vanish so that this guy can stand there alone, because he or she is going to be with the driver at the end of the day. So what are we going to do here? Here we are dividing both sides of the equation by what? By 3. So if you divide here by 3 and then you divide here by 3, then you should have what? 4y and then plus 1, everything divided by 3. That should equal to what? Equal to x, right? So that is what equal to s. So this is the formula that this guy is going to take us to drive that vehicle to back home, right? Is that okay? That is the method. So in the mathematics community, what we normally do is that we always know that y always comes first. Maybe sometimes, in most cases, y is the function. So you have y equal to what? Certain thing. Is that okay? So for you to have that, you can say that interchange first. We are going to interchange this one, right? So interchange. We are going to interchange x and y, right? So x and y, right? That is just the keyword. So we are just swapping these two people for us to be into what? The mathematics community. So we interchange the x and y. So yeah, we are going to have us. So for x here, so, right? So we are swapping these two people. So for x here, since we became the driver, that is it. We are wearing driver's uniform. So the driver's uniform, what we know at the beginning is that we say let g of s equal to y. So we know that anybody that is a driver here is by name of Y. So since you're a driver, you have to bear that name. So you have 4x plus 1, right? Or maybe it can be the case whereby you can say that Y is equal to, right? So 4x here and then plus 1, everything divided by 3, right? So everything divided by 3. Now, so this is the formula that the guy is going to take us back home. But you can see that this is far different from what the chief driver's formula, right? So the chief driver used 3x and the manual so everything divided by 4. But whereby here's the spare driver, right? So here's the spare driver. The driver that's going to take us home is using what? 4x plus what? 1, everything divided by 4. So how do you write this thing what? In inverse what symbol? This is the symbol that we are going to use to represent the inverse. So in mathematics, this is what we are dealing with. So the function was what? G of s. So this is what the symbol, g raised to the power negative 1. So g inverse, right? So whatever function that you are being given, that is what you are going to do. So this symbol stands for inverse, g inverse of x, right? So meaning that this is the formula that the guy is going to take us back home. That's equal to what? You have the 4 x here, then plus 1, everything divided by what? By 3, right? So the inverse function of what? This one here is going to be what? 4s and then plus 1, everything divided by what? By 3. So this is just the inverse of function. What will happen if you have a complicated function? Let's say g of, if you don't know anything about g of s, right? This is just a composite function. If you want to know something or you want to know how to find the inverse of everything, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Is that okay? Comment down below on anything that you want to see under what inverse.